Already, welcome to the podcast HASSDISCUSSES. We are joined once again by a special guest. This is Lil WooFy WooF, and he's the most poppin' G-Funk artist right now. I listen to him on the regular. I listen to him while I'm driving to work. I listen to him all the time, and I'm glad to have him on the show again. He's a Schema Posse artist and a frequent collaborator with Nemesis and all of them, and thank you for coming on again, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me, man. It feels an honor. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So you recently did a track with Lil Jeff Gordon. How did that come about?
Uh, Basically, I was just asking around, seeing who needed features and all, and he hit me up in the DMs for he had a song, so he said, I would like a verse. So I ended up putting up a verse. The verse was cold as hell. He was fucking with it, so he was like, "Yeah, man, this shit is dope." So we went on and put that together. He had a vision where he wanted to do a huge marketing thing on it. So I was down with it when he sent me the visuals and the pictures for it and certain layouts he had for merch that he had an idea for just for this single. So that's how the single ended up playing out the way it did, and
Yeah.
the whole theme for it is pretty dope.
Yeah, like he I've had the pleasure of going on a phone call with him, and he'll just go off for an hour talking about some shit about like the algorithm and marketing and stuff. He's a really like he's very enthusiastic about the way he distributes his music and is building his stuff up. And you don't like a lot
Right.
of people just say I'm gonna drop this and everybody, no, he'll be like explaining like how the algorithm on Instagram works, how you can't like post all the time, and how like if you post all the time then the Instagram's not going to put your post at the top. He's a real and I'm glad that he's working with you because you guys mesh real well. Like he's heavily inspired by you, and I just love to see that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool, man. Um, he gave me the whole rundown about that too, and
Yeah.
it was pretty simple, but at the same time, you still had to. It's like playing chess. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thinking game. You gotta know how to do everything at what time and know how to put what certain things that's gonna approach the most to the Instagram fans. So it's thinking wise. It's a lot to do. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. So, you mentioned to me something about Hound House. How has that been going, forming Hound House?
Roundhouse right now is doing pretty good. I just started distributing 2 songs, and I got one that's getting ready to drop called "Can't Fuck with It." That's gonna be a nice slapper right there. So Roundhouse right now is building, and I got a lot of people that's starting to hit me up that's doing clothing. Jeff Gordon, he made me a design, and I was thinking, well, shit, man, he was like, we put this on the clothes, and you can rock this in the video. So I'll be rocking a whole lot of that in my video. I got one that's supposed to be coming in the mail real soon. You feel me?
Well, that's good to see. Like, is there like a list of members you could give us or a shout out?
I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Ragdoll. What's up, dog? I want to give a shout out to my homeboy Felon, aka Adrian. What's good? And I also want to give a shout out to my homeboy JoJo. He locked up, but you know what I'm saying. What's up, JoJo? I got you when you get out, little honey.
Of course, that's dope. I'm really excited to see what you guys have got going on, cause like you got like there is an endless amount of your music scattered around the internet. Like there's a bunch of different YouTube accounts you made, and like I don't I I I would assume that this year you got some great stuff in the works, and you also have the you did a track, you got a like little schema new Las Vegas thing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Everybody wanted there for a music video. Like that's
yeah, man.
out of everything, I'm hyped for that. Like what can you speak on when it comes to Schema Posse in Las Vegas that happened a couple weeks ago and stuff?
Um, I want to say with the Schema Posse, the Vegas trip was pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? Everything going from getting there, to shooting the videos, to being on the street where Tupac was murdered, going to the big studio that we went to. Shout out to my homeboy Brian Dole. Salute. You
Yeah.
feel me? It was a lot of things that happened that I think opened up a lot of doors for scheming. You know, so I think things in the work, possibly a schema movie. I ain't hear that from me though.
Yeah, and is the person that worked on that and the guy who runs that studio is Fire Emoji. That guy, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
And I interviewed him, and he's got a lot. He had a lot of great stories, and he was like a real interesting. And that studio setup is so inspiring because like right now, I'm doing this out of my I'm doing this out of my fucking bedroom with the fucking posters and like I'm just a little. But eventually, I want that sort of no jumper esque type of style setup with a bunch of homies and maybe a recording studio for my music because I make music. So like yeah, like I'm really that's inspiring that he was he's doing that and that's all successful. Like I love seeing like studio setup and all that. Like I think everybody would love to just have their own studio and just a little playground. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. That man, and the fact that he built that shit. You know what I'm saying? He put his hands together and he came up with that, designed it the way he wanted to, the way he had it pictured in his mind. I think that shit is thick as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He got that shit from off the mud. So, you know, I salute him for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's exactly the way Schema came about. You know, a lot of the homeboys is out the mud. We got together in Schema. You know, Jay Green put us all together. Shout out to Jay Green.
Yeah.
And I say like a year, he was popping. You know, 1-6, 1-7. Schema was popping. We was dropping mixtapes off the ass. Niggas wasn't fucking with us. Schema was shit.
And I love like and I love the way he kind of like last year he was like he did that little schema post and he was like, give me a year to get this shit started again. And then like look at everybody now and how you're like, like it's like a second wave. You know what I mean?
I think it's the more dangerous wave now.
It's a
'Cause
more
now we
dangerous wave.
old, and now we older, man. Now we done learned shit. You know, we done seen shit. We done been through shit.
And you know how like people act. You know what I'm saying? Like the like you've seen the good and the bad side of things, and you kind of use that to your like, I don't know. It's a fun thing to analyze each member and each member's story. It's like a cinematic universe. You know what I mean? It's like fucking Marvel. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fun and stuff like that. And now, obviously, with your music being heavily like G funk and boom bap oriented, you probably know a lot about death row artists that you're heavily inspired by. But I want to ask, which non-death row artists are you inspired by?
You mean as far as the West Coast?
Sure.
Okay. Like somebody outside of Death Row, but they from the West Coast. Shit, Dubsy from that circle. Uh, I want to say, trying to get somebody that's like stretched out of. Uh, I'll say MC Ren. You know, Mad Scientist that came out in '96,
Yeah.
and his earlier shit before that as well.
The thing about MC Ren,
Brother Lynch Hung.
dude, MC Ren, he has one of my favorite songs off the Straight Outta Compton album, which I have on vinyl over there. It's the Compton's in the House remix. That's
Yep.
my favorite track off the whole album. And that's just that's fuck that right there is peak NWA in my opinion. But I think their later albums, everybody only really people appreciate the later albums, but I think the later albums, like the last two, were actually really good.
Yeah, man.
Like outstanding, and I always have to go back to them. And I think 8 Ball, Compton's in the House, and Something to Dance To is a good one. Cause like honestly, you know what I'm talking about? That one roller skating type of track, Something to Dance To.
It's by Ren.
It's on straight. It's on Straight Outta Compton, the album.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that track is heavily overlooked, and I used to like go to a roller skating rink all the time, and like I just wish like that. I wish I could go to a time machine and go like the late '80s and hear that playing at a roller rink. That would like go. That would be a moment. But
I be wishing for the same thing too, bro. Wish I could be at a roller skate in the '80s or the '90s and shit. Just listen to that shit.
yeah, dude, like yeah. Let's talk about that though. Like if you were to go to any like era and location. Now, how about this? If you were to go see any like show of an artist from like before you were born or like back then, like what year would you go to see like one show from one artist? You know what I mean?
I mean, of course, I would definitely love to go see Snoop in '94. You know what I'm saying? One of
Yeah.
his concerts and shit when he used to have his picture drawn on the DJ booth. And dog would come out with the khakis, the sweatshirt, 2 or 3 braids. He got the dog pound behind him. Man, the motherfucking shows he be shaking buildings. Hell yeah, I'd definitely be at one of them shows. Breakfast early in the morning, fuck with a couple of hoes, go the fuck home. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the best part about Snoop is he's never stopped having fun with like how he's an entertainer, you know what I mean? He's like doing the announcing and shit. And like, you know, obviously like the golden days are, you know, what is everybody's of interest of him, but like he's one of those guys who like he's had like such a big life that he's like at this point doing side missions.
That's man, if Snoop asked me to write for him one day or he said he had a idea for some G Funk shit, I'm with it. I'm with it. Especially if he asked me to write for him. I'll write him the coldest shit he ever. Yeah, they gonna be like, damn, we ain't heard no shit like this from Snoop in a long ass time.
And you know the producers to get, you know, like you would know who to link up because you know how to get producers that fit your sound very well. And so does I would even say if you did that project, I would say get Jeff Gordon on board or something like, you know, like and Jeff Gordon's real on the boom bap stuff as well, and he's and it seems like you want to popularize G Funk again. Is this like a mission of yours? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'd say it's a mission for me. I say it's something that everybody's been wishing for, wanting back.
yeah.
A lot of them hear a lot of the G Funk from back in the days, and they always tell me that they don't hear nobody talking or rapping like that before. And I felt like I had the voice for it, I had the style for it, I had the charisma. I'm like, shit, I might as well just put this shit into perfection. So when I laced it down and put it down, you know, everybody's like, damn,
Yeah.
no, this is it. He the one, you know. So I'm like, why not try to put it out there? You know, I think the fun thing about this whole mission is that I'm in my own lane. Can't nobody say I'm jumping into anybody's lane. You know what I'm saying? They can't even say I'm jumping into Snoop's lane. Snoop don't rap like this no more. He don't do this type of music no
He's doing
more.
tracks with Young Boy. Like
Huh?
he's doing tracks with Young Boy and shit. Like
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's and no disrespect to it, you know. It's just it's not this, you know what I'm saying? And it's that's just what I do. So it's right now in 2021. I'm in my lane. I'm not hopping into nobody's lane. Nobody's hopping into my lane.
Yes.
It's just a straight lane, and whoever I invite in, it's like it's still going to be a straight lane. I
A-
think that's the cool thing about this shit.
And you spoke on the term like how you need charisma to like be the, because like the delivery is really specific with G Funk, and like, and a lot of people, you can't just go into it. You can't just pick a random G Funk beat and just do whatever with it. Like, you gotta stylize everything, fit the aesthetic, and you have to add like your soul into it. But a lot of people just like, they don't add their soul into the music they make, and you can tell. Like, you can tell when there's no emotion and it's just like words being read, you know.
Right, right, right.
And with G Funk, there's a
That's,
certain aspect like where you want someone, you want to make something that someone's gonna blast in their fucking car.
and make something memorable,
What you say?
right? Like something that they gonna something that they gonna remember, something memorable. You know what I'm saying? Something that they ain't gonna just be like, oh yeah, he dropped that shit. Right? Nah, they gonna be like, oh yeah, when he dropped that shit, yeah. Every track I drop, I want to make sure that shit means something. You felt that motherfucker. You thought it was real lyrics, or you thought the way I came on it was so dope. You know what I'm saying? I have fun with this shit. This shit is fun to me. You know, when I rap on G Funk, man, I'm not rapping this shit thinking about no money. I'm rapping on that shit like, man, I wish I was back in these days kicking shit like this. I'd have been wrecking buildings like the pound too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's speak on Nemesis. You did some work with him for his Hey Russia EP. What new? You always got something coming up with NEM, but what could you speak on when it comes to like NEM's latest? Like, what is you and NEM? What do you and NEM have coming forward in terms of music?
Um, shit. With NEM, man, I probably did at least 30 songs for NEM. Um, I got so much shit with NEM, and I probably did all these songs in like 3 days. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, dead ass. Y'all can ask him. I did
Yeah.
like 30 songs in like 3 days for him. He was just sending beats back to back, and I was just returning them motherfuckers. So to do an album of that shit, we could do that. You know, he got me on some classic beats he got, and shout out to Cisco. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, he got some fire too on that motherfucker. So
I think you work very well with NEM because NEM knows how to like make everything sound so authentic, but he'll also go back and sample some like Ghetto Boys track. Like, he sampled Mine playing tricks on me, like full walls just staring at it. You know what I'm saying? On the third track of Chronic
right,
Cartel, and like that,
right,
I never expect I'd hear that being chopped on a track, and he made it work so well, and yeah, and obviously that Everybody Loves the Sunshine, um, one being sampled. Honestly, like, even though Everybody Loves the Sunshine is a very overused sample, I think that, like, it's still, like, I don't care. Like, I want to hear that shit all the time. It's a great sample, and I think a lot of people could use it in many different ways. Logic used it. He put out a beat tape and used it. And now I went back and, years ago, NEM used it. And I think, I mess with the NEM version more than the Logic one, but I really do fuck with Logic and what he's got going on and the Doc D stuff. I think he's got like a whole MF Doom type of persona that he's releasing music under now after he retired. I'd advise everybody to look into it. What's an overlooked Snoop Dogg project?
hmm. Hey, something that's overlooked.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'll say I don't know, man. I want to say the Blue Carpet Treatment. That was a fire album too. I think the album after that. I think the album after that, where I think he had a song where people thought he was dissing Lil Wayne. Forgot what that was, but
I'm looking into it.
I think it was Malice in Wonderland. I think it was Malice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's my pick. That's my pick. Yeah.
I
Yeah, dude.
thought that one was overlooked probably, but
That had Soldier Boy on it, and like Soldier Boy, you know, he came through with that, and he was kind of like and Kid Cudi was on that. He had that one song like it was like that it was like that song was called That Tree or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I remember that video.
Yeah, dude, and he had The Dream on it, like that 80s synth type of singer. Like he's a singer, and he's like really like 80s.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Why I thought that album was overlooked probably the most out of all his, because I felt like it was definitely showing a newer Snoop. Like it was a Snoop like,
Yeah,
and I dig it too, because we as artists we get older and shit, and we gotta go for the different paths and shit. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
just I don't know. I felt like it wasn't him all the way. Like I felt like he was. A lot of everybody got tree. Niggas can roll up, smoke whenever they want. It's a cool ass life. You know, but I felt like the direction he was going with that album, it was definitely past anything that we could think of with Snoop or grew up listening with Snoop. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of
Like
people
it
were
was.
like, "What is this, man?" But I think
I
when
ain't even saying it was whack. I ain't even saying it was whack because I thought it was creative. I
I
was just saying I don't think it was Snoop. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Doggy Dog, and I ain't even
it was
saying they
him
had to be
dabbling with
gangbangers.
newer sounds because
Right,
he just was dabbling. You know.
right. And no hate towards him. You know what I'm saying? I give Dog all respect. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never tarnish what he made. I just felt like it. It was him trying to squeeze the Doggy Dog what he could with this, and it's just, to me it was like trying to put, what I'm saying, sugar in spaghetti.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to talk about someone that you've collaborated with a lot. Diggy 1D. Where is he based, and how'd you start making stuff with him?
With Diggy.
Yeah.
Diggy is from Florida. I don't know too much about Diggy. I met him in 1-6 when we was going to Texas to do that show, the South by Southwest show.
Yeah.
Pretty famous. But me and him, we met in Florida that night when I got off the plane, and him and them picked me up. Had a big ass bag of weed in the car, man. Good lord, them fools couldn't stop rolling up. I was sitting there asleep. They still passed me the blunt, And Diggy's a cool dude, man. Diggy, he's a thinker. You know what I'm saying? I can tell that when he talks, he's like one of those thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Um, he real creative when it comes to music, especially in person. Like, you ever chill with Diggy in person and y'all coming up with some shit, he'll come up with some tunes that just slide right at the right time, right after the bars that we just spit or some shit. So that's something I can definitely say for Diggy, man. Diggy is he's definitely one of the greats. I just wish the homie would come back, man, and come rip some shit with your boy, man. Waiting for you, bro.
Has he been taking a break from music or something, or
I mean, just work, just
life
work,
shit? Yeah.
life. So, but I think he's starting to hit us up more, and y'all definitely gonna see some shit in the future with me and Diggy, man, for sure.
I'm excited. I'm excited to to see all that. But now we kind of touched on this in the old interview, but obviously it's not out. I kind of already said that about another topic, but I want to go back to the Raider Clan days. What were they like? What were the Raider Clan days like? Was it a lot of collaboration, or were you just kind of like um
I
still
say it was
learning?
well in the beginning. It was more like just trying to get exposure. You know, when I first got with Raider Clan, because everybody else was still like trying to gain as many fans as they could and many views as they could. So when I came in the Raider Clan, well, first the way how I came in the Raider Clan, shout out to my homeboy Chucky. Chucky set me up with Raider Clan. Told me that there was some dudes in Florida that rap the way I rap, and we all got this Bone Thugs type of style. And he was like, maybe you should hit them up and see what you got. So I ended up contacting them on Facebook, and I told them that I had some music, and that was exactly the same time I dropped a song called West Going On. I never look up some real ancient Lil WooFy WooF. Look up West Going on YouTube. They have a picture of Snoop on there. But they heard that shit, fell in love with it. They wanted to do more shit with me, man. They was like, yo, we could do some shit. And we ended up doing a few songs. One of the songs was called What Can I Do? So if y'all ever look that up on YouTube, look up What Can I Do? And that was definitely one of our early songs, man. And that whole scene was just pretty cool, man. You know what I'm saying? The way collaborating with people that got the same mindset as you, same
Yeah.
ideas and visuals. It's a pretty real cool energy.
What I would say about Raider Clan is that I'll give an opinion, then I'll say something. I gotta say something about Raider Clan. Um, while I am proud of the way it's influenced the underground and how it's influenced a lot of groups to form out of ex-members, and how a lot of ex-members went on to do great things, you know, Jay Green, Denzel, Slim Gorilla, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
but I feel like I really wish it got way bigger than Odd Future and ASAP Mob. I really wish it got bigger than them because the sound is so much more interesting, and it's it's obviously what I listen to all the time because like that's why I interview all these funk artists because it's what I'm listening to while I'm like making like in it like planning something out, or like it really gets me going and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I really wish this sound was like got to the Odd Future and ASAP Mob level, but like at least it's inspired a lot of subgroups to form like Passion Players with Slim Gorilla, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a great, I love them. Schema, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, such all the Water Boys, Xavier Wolf, like, and I love to see that. But even though Puya was not really in Raider Clan, he was heavily affiliated. How did you come to do a song with Puya? A couple songs with Puya.
Um, Foya was actually the first guy that I met. That was like Raider Clan or Raider Clan affiliated, and
In person? You
actually,
met him in person?
no, not in person.
Okay.
In the Facebook Messenger, but these and you got to think this was maybe 9 years ago, 8, 7, and yeah, Pollo. I think Pollo was the very first one I hit up, and he heard West. Oh, he's like, "Oh man, you dope as fuck." Da, 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 let's do some shit, and that's how we came about. They asked me to find a beat, and they said if you can get a beat, we all can spit on it. So I hit up one of my homeboys. Shout out to Creek Murder. He had a beat that he threw to me. I put that motherfucker down. Me and him and Nell and Poya, and we put that motherfucker together. And that shit was classic, star shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
hell
was
yeah. I was loving that shit when we made that, man.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of him. And damn, it feels good to be a schema. Was like, would you say that was like Let me make an analogy, like graduating the college of the game. You know, like really taking a leap forward and getting past. Was it a moment of growth for you? Was making damn, it feels good to be a schema with Nem and Diggy like a step in a great direction for you when it happened?
I want to say yeah. The time that we was doing it, we was all having this thought of making it big, hopping on a record label, coming out with dope shit, and being stupid rich. Yeah, a lot of energy was going on putting into that album. Um, we had a lot of shit lined up. Nim was working his ass off trying to put things together for everybody that was in scheming. Like everybody that was really digging and putting forth effort into this album, he was fucking with. So all of us, we put that shit together, man. That's why the way it sounded. We probably did the first song on there. I think it was the Chronic.
Yeah.
That that shit, we he had me re-record that shit at least like 20 times. you
Yeah, and
know?
I love that song because mainly I think this what I do like about that song is mainly like there's like a 7 minute version that he put out on the Lost Tapes and the Nemesis, and I love that version too. And
Mm-hmm.
like every time like the first couple notes come on, it's like that's one of those songs you gotta listen to while you're driving. Out of any songs that you've made, it's like you gotta drive. You gotta put the window down a little bit, like not all the way. You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yup.
you know, like that's I think with most of your music is great for fucking driving and shit like that. So yeah,
My shit
yeah.
be high music.
What?
I said my shit be high music.
That as well. But what was the first big album that you started getting obsessed over when you were a little kid? Like that one album that you just like played 30 times and it got you obsessed with like music in general. You know what I mean?
that's, that's easy. DJ Denali, West Coast Classics, Volume 3.
All right, I'm looking this up, okay? You've recommended me a lot of stuff, but this is what I want to look up.
I'll definitely send you a link for that. Yeah, DJ Denali, West Coast Classics, Volume 3. The reason I say that one was because I never knew about West Coast music until that CD. Real shit. Never knew about G Funk. Never knew about nothing. I was a kid when I heard this shit. I was like, what? Oh man, it was shit I've never. And the way they did it, right? Like, okay, you've heard nothing but a G thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine it being sped up, maybe a second or two, a little sped up, and then in the beginning, you got the radio host that's like, still here on another old school classic. It's the turntable assassin, DJ Smooth Denali, taking you back through the days. Boom, then the music drops. It gives you such a different feel, something you've never felt before. And it has so many different classics of West Coast music from 1991 to 1989, 93, 94. You know, just it hits you. It hits you different.
It was
You
like
know.
the ultimate door to the entire lane of like the sound that
Everything,
you're obsessed over. It was the door.
everything, everything,
That's dope. Oh,
everything.
how did you come to get this? Was it like something? You might have explained this, but like, what? How did you get this album? Was it like, did a family member give it to you or something? Or
Yeah, man, my pops. Shout out to him, man. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I ever would have been on this. But he worked at a trucking company, so he had a friend on there that used to be like the bootleg man. You know, he would sell CDs, DVDs,
yeah,
shit like that. So my pops would always buy music from him. And we had CDs in those days, so he'll come home and have some shit playing. Now I had already heard of Snoop. I heard of Snoop's No Limit Top Dog album at this time. Now I want to say that was the album that I was bumping a lot, but I don't think it was shit compared to the DJ Denali West Coast Classics, because that showed me the real young Snoop. I never heard Snoop so young, and they made him sound younger in that album.
Because they sped it up.
Yeah, because they sped it a little bit, so Snoop sound a little younger on there. So it's like, man, sound like he like 17, 18, and but it's such a classic sound. You know what I'm saying? Because they did that, and they kind of high pitched it a little bit. And they got gin and juice on there. Gin and juice is sped up, but
I'm on
Snoop
mix
sounds
unit
so
right now.
young on there. And it's just the flow. Yeah. So like after you hear that album, let's say you go play Doggy Style, and then you hear gin and juice on Doggy Style. It sound more gangster.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna listen to that while I edit this. Like, for sure, for sure. I found a link to it and all that, but I feel like we covered all that we could cover, man. Like, just we're hearing about how Woofy Woof's doing his fucking G-Funk thing and never stopping putting out some fucking fire. And what else could you announce before we wrap this up, man?
Man, I just want to say, y'all check out the new song that I got. Can't fuck with it. That shit's gonna be fire. It's gonna be out on all the platforms. Lil Woofy Woof, whole different motherfucking animal this year. What's up?
All right then. All right, and thank you for joining again. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and maybe the next couple months I'll have you back on again and do a little update because I'm listening to you on the regular, man. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I appreciate you, man.
yep,
Keep doing your thing, dog.
of
Yeah.
course. And that's it. I'm gonna stop recording, and I want to talk to you afterwards about something very important. And all right, goodbye.